girls. How's it going?
Okay, how are you?
Fine. Heads up that since we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, I did go ahead and set up the live stream. It is, as you can tell, it is like a moment behind. Well, Shirley Rose just tried to call me, but I missed it. So I think that she might not be able to be here this time.
Sit down.
Right.
Sit down.
So I've got these packets that have like new stuff in it, and then for anyone that wasn't at like February, March 4 days, I printed out the February, March things. I mean, was it? Yeah, it's February, March. I think it was already gone. So.
That's true. Because we have our April.
Exactly.
Where did that go? I mean, I was gonna be here. It just got him, and so he got the call, and he was supposed to be April 20th. So John says, "Do you have to be at that meeting?" I said,
No, nothing's more important than your kid.
"We got to get to Florida." So we left Monday, got there Tuesday morning, right before he left the order. So we got to be with him Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because then they called and said it'd be the 21st. So we got to get there for 5:18, but it takes almost a whole day to get there because of your, this Dallas to Tokyo, Tokyo to Naha, you know. So by the time you get on your flights and your layovers, so he called us, WhatsApp us this morning at 8:30, he's getting ready to go to bed at 9:30. This is my time there. They're 11 hours ahead of us. So we talked to him almost every day.
We must be really proud of him though. I mean,
I said, this, I guess other schools are very much because I this Japanese is
yeah,
really
yeah, at 4 p.m. the commission meeting. I know.
so they told me they
There's no cards.
That's because the chamber decided to leave early. No.
I said, this is one of the stand up.
Oh, you're gonna worry about it. Oh. Yeah, I put together a packet, but I just, a couple of things together for people that weren't at the February and March, or people that were not on the nonprofit, you know, just people caught up. And then only included new stuff on their accomplishments for this one.
Yeah.
So that everybody's on the same page. Yeah, excited. Everything's going well. I feel like I've only heard positive things lately, so that's always good.
It looks like all the stuff is going north of us.
Oh, good.
It's all, we got a little bit of that one system early this afternoon. And right now we're getting just the bottom of the
Oh,
storm right now, but that's just north of them.
okay.
The rest of this is all going. I think, but there's, all the possible systems could form, so possible hail and
Wow.
thunderstorms till midnight. So you never know, you know, we have unusual here because it's so dry in southern Knox County that when those humid fronts come in, they tend to go around the dry areas.
And I feel like bodies of water changed the whole thing too.
They do.
When I lived on a lake, like St. Mary's Lake in Ohio, I noticed that we had just different weather right around the lake than anybody else.
Water is cooler. So when the storms come across, especially the tornadoes, when they come across where it's been since, they go and take the White River. You hit Petersburg because the White River changes directions when
Lucky
it gets
Peter.
to Peter, and that's why they get hit all the time. Those tornadoes. And then the other ones go up the angle of the Wabash River north of us, or up there north of us. But very rarely does Vincennes get a tornado. It actually hits the city. And just like he said, it's the water that does it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, we'll be in a room where we can see it. It's coming.
Right? you guys are on the nonprofit, so you don't need the February and March processes because you saw them in the meeting already, and so just in more things.
You might do.
Yeah, those are just yours.
Well, I'm seeing that. A little timer went off. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just quite a few years ago, the last time we got the big hailstorm.
It has been a while. It did one of our red van did in, because it was sitting out. And we took it to have a wrap. And the guy looked at it and says, well,
It'd be hard to wrap that with all these things.
that's exactly right. I had to get a new, in order, of course.
If you just gonna wrap it, why didn't you just build a Bondo?
He said it would work, but it wouldn't stay on very well. You know, it would crack. So I said, oh my God. So, and you just,
Cause you have to, I mean, which one goes, then you'd have to stand with them. Hang down to.
I don't know how they do
To
it.
the metal. And then fill it with that bond.
Oh, yeah. What happens? Oh, it was, we were talking about hail there.
Last time we got it was.
Yeah. Yeah, we wanted to have that great band wrapped, and they couldn't wrap it because it actually so I had to get it good. That said that if that was the Rex still here, Rex said, well, I think we can find you a used one for it, and then it was doable. And of course, we're putting the wrap on the top, so it would make a difference. Listen,
Just about any accident. Clemens,
I know.
this labor is so expensive on body work.
And the airbags go off like Isabella got hit by a deer and all her airbags, you know,
And the cost to reset.
Yeah.
Your
totaled it. So that was it.
Somebody's got a deal going there, don't they?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
I had a deer total my vehicle, but to be fair, it was a 2000 something, so it was clean out of the time. It was fun. Yeah.
I took my 2005 Benny and I put them right this morning. I keep thinking I should sell it and do it all the time. I do. I'm gonna be, to keep it.
I love, thinking it all good.
So long as you
Yeah.
They don't know, they're probably like my sister, they trade every 2 or 3 years. They just traded probably 2 years ago. They never had a Lexus, so they got one. So the best cars they've ever had were Buick Enclaves. And those, and so that's what they went back to, is Rick had to manage the car, which was a small dog. With his Parkinson's, he can't hardly get out. So they got an Enclave. Tart, Rick's in the hospital right now with his Parkinson's, had issues for 2 weeks. I tired to a new one because his blood pressure was staying low. She goes, I'm just gonna stay in the hospital all day. She texted me, she goes, if you see me coming home, I'm bringing home the new car and taking the old car because there's the hair on it. The old car, we need the old car. The other was just a fact. Bless her heart. Do we want to wait for Shirley?
We can give her the last 2 minutes, just because, she had said she thought she was coming earlier today, but she couldn't guarantee it to the store. So, and then,
Wait 1 minute. So my son's officially helping off for 6 months. He'll probably be on shift too. It scares me to death. I was telling James.
Excited.
Oh, he loves it. He goes, I mean, Jared's are in for less than a year and a half, and I'm already doing. He's already been to Kansas for recruiting. He's already been to Texas for recruiting. He's been at Fort Fleet, which is Mayport where he works. He's doing at Fort Fleet. Then he went to Kings Bay, which is nuclear submarines. And then he got a guy nominated for this and that. So he goes, this is all good for my career, Mom. So James is scared to do that. There's venomous snakes. There's Japanese encephalitis. He's already been snorkeling. He saw a sea snake, which is venomous. He saw pufferfish. Oh my God, he goes, Mom, will you stop? Because he's in Japan for I think 3 years. Yeah, over and he was in the movie. Well, his is called TDY because it's not a permanent thing. So 3 months, and they said, would you be willing to stay 3 more months? He said, yes, I will. So,
Back on the side, and they're taking bets on. That ship is called upstairs.
well, the one he's supposed to be on has been on maneuvers, but it's supposed to be coming back to Port Tokyo. So, but this is what his mom, this is what I signed up for. This is what it's meant to be. Her nephew. I knew you'd tell me that. I know exactly what it says.
My dad loved the Navy. World War II, he loved it because he said those crews on the ground, it's pretty rough. When you're on a ship,
Yeah,
you know, you're gonna have a place to sleep.
Yeah.
You're gonna have food.
he said he had a lot of incidents with kids that go in 18 that signed for 4 years for college. A lot of them come and make for base and saying, or the JAG officer, this is not what we signed up for. It's where you're wrong. You just signed up for this. Okay, you want to go ahead and get started with questions? Okay, it's 4 o'clock and we're going to call the meeting to order. It looks like everybody's here but Shirley, Rose. So I think we're okay. We'll go ahead and did everybody get to look at the approval, I mean, the February minutes? They look good to me. Looks normal to me too.
Second.
So we have John Friends first motion, second motion, we got him black. All those in favor? All those opposed? We're good to go on that. So we have, you're up again, John.
Yeah. Someone wanted it off, but I didn't.
You're up again. For treasurer's report.
Just that, that's the first report there. And, like it is just cover the ones that are management control. A lot of these things are set, the rent, things like that are set. That's what I always do around business. We emphasize manager control goals. That's what they can lower. You don't want them to lower expenses on stuff that need to be there. But anyways, it'll be, what when we get the next checks in for first quarter.
Yeah, we'll submit the paperwork when Pam signs it today, and then sometimes it takes up to a month of the website.
They're required to. What's called the 20th.
Okay.
And so then, as long as we get it, by the time they all come in review it.
Do you want figures or do you have figures?
No.
Oh, I put it on the agenda what we're drawing. I'm sorry. I thought I sent it to you. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
you see it.
I can say like, 105K is not.
So close
Yeah.
to what we last quarter, yeah.
Right, but here's the nice thing, we're drawing for January, February, March, and that's. What we have for this quarter. You've even just 70s before, for January, February, March. So I would say we're about 30K on the board, we can see it.
Because, you know, when you drive by in town,
Oh, yeah,
the hotels are doing very well now.
I think so too.
With the construction going on at Amazon, that's going up quick, that huge building.
Except
I can see it.
They raised the ground 3 feet up and built it.
You see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Turn right at impact.
Mhm.
Just turn it and it's just a stone throw up, that's right there.
So it's
South side of it, where
up there. That's me.
and so that's bringing people to town too. And if it's less than 30 days, we get the fee. If it's over 30 days, they don't have to pay.
Right, right. I had that.
So it's going good.
He's been the neatest, the neatest 30 days stay. He left yesterday, he was packing up to go out. This one bit. And I could not believe how neat it was. I mean, he was neat there.
So on the expenses, utilities, so far this year, $53, and that's just coming out of the cold winter months. And, so it's about right on, duty subscriptions, usually those are, paid by the beginning of the year, so that's right on. Office expense, it's a little bit higher, but, first off, meal and entertainments. We haven't got the bill yet for the annual meeting. From Kelsey.
And I will say that it came in after I sent you
Yeah.
the. Then, you know, Cap came back with the post office. Oh, look what we got. So, yeah, 1,800. So it is.
Yeah.
And that's always our biggest meals that anybody spends.
Next office expenses are $7,412. One thing, we're a little bit over on that, but I got Vicky in and got to get her a laptop and a laptop software and all that stuff. So that's why it's a little bit off. Postage right online, public relations advertising so far this year, $49,466. And, that's a little bit below the budget, but it's coming up to that time of year when we get all the requests for the public relations advertising. Repair and maintenance running right along, just fine. The seminars, we're 149, we put 1,000 for the year, so we're doing okay there. Travel, $2,633 is above what we, planned, but it's working out really well. Those trips that we're taking and sitting at the table all day, drinking hands, and smiling, and handing pamphlets out.
Just the babies.
It's working. It's working, and those people are coming to this and asking a lot of questions.
And most of our travel is in March, right before the big tourist season. Right? So.
And then, on wages, just, we did, when we hired Vicky, we did go add into the budget on that. But so far this year, $33,465, and it's, it's still under, but we've got it in the budget now for the previous year. So far, the portion, and there's not much under control under the sports facility, but we do have, of that total there you got for income. Total on the income comes to 194,280. Excuse me, the tourism funds is 189,449. Of that, let's see, $140,855 is for the CBD, and 48,594 is for the sports building. So it's full there, but it's separated out. I'm keeping it separate. I can tell you. And so far for sports facility, then that first quarter, we got 48,594, and so far, interest that we have paid is 15,537.21. And so we're doing fine there. On your balance sheets all the way out there for you. It's going fine. Currently at $863,377. Is there any questions? We continue to appreciate the building here, but you don't appreciate real estate, so the land over there stays on the books of what we pay.
And our taxes will be higher, you know, that we pay now because we're gonna pay taxes on those lands, you know, regardless. If they waive it, it'll be for next year, not for this year, so.
Well, thank you, John, as always. Looks good, and thanks for doing all the work and letting us know. So we'll make a motion, is this side of the motion to approve the minutes, excuse me, the treasurer's report. Sandra is first, If you want a second, Aaron, second. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. Now ready for Janice, Executive Director's report.
I put the February and March things in a separate paper since people who are on the nonprofit absolutely know, but I do want to kind of go over a little bit of what's going on in April. We did meet with the 250th committee convener, Ellen Harvard and Zach Thomas, starting the downtown lighting project. So that's lighting that's going to go over the road and be attached to the buildings. So, it's kind of a big project because we have to get the building owners' permission and sign off and everything. And then we're hoping that Zach will be able to handle it as far as keeping that work local. If he can't, I can have another estimate from someone else. But we are hoping to keep it okay. Yeah, so just a few things. Oh, Museum Palooza. Okay, so back in September, Anne Pratt had the idea that we should do a museum palooza where all the museums do a kids activity on the same day. So, on the site directors meeting, there's and every site has someone, Dwayne comes from the museum, I'm sure you know that. So like they picked the day where a couple of them already had stuff. But it was very successful actually. George Rogers Clark said they had 62 people and they didn't do any activities on their own, part of it. Grassland had 37, Stateside had 15, and Redstone only got 6, which is too bad because it was her idea. Dwayne has not gotten me a number on how many, but I don't know if he was able to be there that day. So, the gal who does the sewing in the kids area at the arena said she saw a lot that afternoon though. So I think that's good. We're hoping Grouse will do a time traveler's ball to perk up those low numbers that come January, February, March. So this will be for next year's first quarter. So we're kind of working with them, because Innkeeper's taxes are next March. Both of us. The historical half that we helped advertise 450 participants. That was pretty good. And since it was on April 18th, we themed the kids run after Paul Revere because that's the anniversary of the Paul Revere ride. So we had 2 horse and buggy riders that were miserable right there on their horses. I wish the weather had been better, but they were there to lead off the Paul Revere ride. Well, unfortunately, the ponies were not motivated. I thought the ponies would take over. That's why we had horse travel is that they're faster than people. And not these particular people. These kids were after the horse. So I did get to the stage that a group of about 7 kids or something. Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight run of Paul Revere. They had me do it. Mr. 250 was supposed to do it. He had entered himself. Something he was doing. So it was on me. But yeah, that was a fun moment. It was such a good event. Kevin and I went to the fair at Vincent Lincoln. Drum up volunteers for all the sites. So I sent kids to different site directors to see if the site directors can use them. So that's what we're hoping to do is keep promoting volunteers. These kids can put on the resume. If you didn't make the annual meeting, it was great. That's all I'll say about that. Let's see, and we had a lot of work hanging little fiddly bits from the ceiling. So I have to give Kat a lot of credit for being the only one willing to have a ladder. And then, and it's always wear these, dress a little ridiculous. I'm always wearing these dresses. You can get up on a ladder. John be there poking at my skirt. John lived in the thought, but I'm just saying.
The fireworks and stuff that
Oh,
you
God,
guys
sit around here.
It was funny.
Oh, man.
You think she'll get mad?
Okay, yeah, so lots of positive feedback. The 250 committee is meeting and they are going to have a booth at First Fridays and the farmers market. We kind of let people sign up for different days and then the person is going to fill in where there's spots. So, but that's what it's like. Kate was Friday off if she's going to work Saturday morning farmers market or something like that. Just to cover when we don't have a seat. I don't like at these events. So, but we'll squish it around and make it work. Let me just see. First, bank had a groundbreaking with that. Oh, the building is getting used all the time. April was a record. There were only 3 days in April that there wasn't a community meeting in the school. So, and one of those days was Good Friday. Everyone from Knox County Cares, Columbus, Heaps of Chiefs, with energy, I was pretty around. That was fun. And German American Bank hosted an employee lunch and learn. So that was fun. And then Oregon Solar is going to have lunch and learn tomorrow. So
Great.
it's just very interesting. Apparently there was a need for some extra space in the community. We're just, people are jumping in.
We're using our building.
Yeah.
Because you guys charge.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, the chamber, asks them to be chamber. So it's not sure we're kind of doing, like, if they're making profit, then they have to go to the chamber. And if, they're nonprofit, but they just use it normally, just as long as they tax it. Nice. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, passport program has launched, and we had to print the second, 100 passports. We were gonna start charging the second batch, but someone did point out that we hadn't even had some of them open yet, so maybe we should let everybody open with free passports before we, go ahead and start charging, just to see what the response is at each place. So I think we'll do a year of it before we go to charge like $3 for them. Let's see. First Friday updates, summer movie schedule is set. It's gonna be every first Friday except in July because of the fireworks, so it's moved back a week then. For this first one, we got Apollo 13 happening, and we've also got scavenger hunts in the galleries. The farmer's market, Shirley wants to provide popcorn and she's gonna be there to man the popcorn booth. I mean, we've got a NASA now to do a little something, a little booth. John is going to lead the bubbles. The machine's going, so.
Oh, man, we'll start calling it double.
Or bubble shot. Yeah, so, we're all participating, we're all jumping into this stuff. I have to give credit to Kat because this doesn't even give you a Friday night, and, by the time the movie is done, you're putting away a 35-foot inflatable away in the dark. You're rolling it up in the dark, and it's very kind of different. So, kudos to the staff for wanting to flex that. Right? It'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be something. So I will say there was some controversy about a local art exhibit that's gonna happen, and we decided we had to strike while the iron was hot. That exhibit was at the same time as we're having that Murder on Main Street thing. And I'm like, well, now we gotta know how many people be there. There's gonna be 75 people. So we're having to do 3 showings and we've got a wait list. There's no way you could fit 75 people in the galleries. That was all in like 2 days. So just because everybody's talking about the art walk, I told Becca, I'm like, controversy is the best thing that can happen to us. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. We're having a great time. Things are going well. And I do think that we're working with people a lot more. We're doing a lot more too. So that's nice.
Thank you, Janice. You and Kat do a lot of hard work.
To accept the executive director's report.
I was getting ready for that, but John, first to accept the director's report, second.
Dies for lack of sweat.
Sunday, second.
It's really the second.
All those.
I was waiting for you.
Those in favor of accept the record, all those opposed. Okay, so we can move on to our tourism commission business, which is what we're here for, to take that money. So it looks like the fourth draw, VTV.
Oh, I put 4, it's the first quarter draw, January, February.
Oh, yeah, it is the first. I even said what you had written down. So for the first draw, we have VTV, $105,562.17. And for the sports, we have $35,068.30. I've got the papers here to sign. That doesn't have to be a motion to accept that, right? Because we already, so we gotta do I make a motion on it. I don't remember making motions before. John, you're like the rules of regulation.
Happy to.
Make a motion. Okay, so John Chris is gonna make a motion that we're for, our first quarter to take their money. Do I have a second? Ms. Kennedy? Thank you. All those in favor of drawing on our first quarter draw? All those opposed? Good job, guys. So I have the papers to sign, and it looks like we're done for today already. Our next meeting dates will be July 27th and October 26th of this year. And somebody want to make a motion to close the meeting?
Excellent. Can I ask?
Yes, yes. I guess I always ask those big questions, yes.
Okay, does anybody know anything about the rendezvous? And if or who might get a freezer or a refrigeration truck for the people at the rendezvous? Because, so I have a church that has done stuffing mushrooms at the orchard for years. And it's always been in Wabash Food Service that provided this big, huge truck out there for all of the booths to use. And now they're gone. So the pastor at that church, has tried looking into getting a refrigeration truck, even just for their church. And I told him, I said, well, you're fine using my refrigerator, my cooler. It's gonna be way out of the way for you to keep running back and forth to the orchard, but he said that he didn't know if there's anybody that knows anything or could figure something out or.
Not sure. I know the Christian Education Foundation uses, I think they use the Digwig truck with cooler.
I know the companies.
So, yes, because they sell sausages and things like that, and that's where they buy them from.
Okay.
So that I think is with them. So I don't know if every booth is responsible for getting.
Yeah, no, he told me that it was one huge reefer truck that, like even the Boy Scouts used for all their bottled water that they put around, and so, the strawberry shortcake, people used it for their ice cream, their things. And then they use it for, after they stuff their mushrooms in our facility, and then they come and they bring it all down here. And it's right there, so they can just run to the truck and come back to their booth, but now they have nothing. So, well, I was trying to figure out what I could possibly help.
I'll have to look on the list of who's in charge of the booths.
Okay.
And see if they know.
Because, so he had told me that he had contacted a person, I'm going to say Lisa, about a reefer truck. It was a smaller version of, so it would really probably be for his church only. And they were wanting like $2,800, which would their profit, that would eat their whole profit. So you never.
No, it would really be nice, as always, have something.
Yes,
Where
right.
people take away their profits.
Yes, right.
They have good business.
So I told him that I would see about asking who might know, and then I'll just get back to him. But like I told him, I said, I know it's not ideal, but but just leave it in my cooler and,
It makes you wonder what everybody else is doing.
exactly. Yeah.
But it's always pretty sure that they wigs set their car, their truck and their refrigerator there at that booth because they said they found it.
Yeah.
It does.
So I wonder if they have a bigger one or multi ones that they might be able to.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
because you do have a lot of refrigerated items.
Yeah.
Even like the Marines do the fish,
Yes.
Or kill, anybody would.
I am right now.
Okay.
So it's in charge of the booths that need refrigeration for product.
Okay.
Sandra.
Thank you. Yeah, because, he was, and he used, they used to be able to, they got their mushrooms from them too. And then we can't get the mushrooms, so I told them I look into, because I get my stuff from the GFS. And so I think they, trying to find the right size and they need, to stuff their mushrooms. So, so when that went,
What a mess.
then, yeah,
And I thought she sold it. She not selling?
yeah.
She just closed it.
Yeah, just close it.
James.
Because one of the people that worked, well, she worked at Wabash Food Service, or not Wabash Valley, I mean, Action Harry, but now she works with me at JC's Bakery, and she said that all that stuff's just sitting, there's nothing going on. They just pretty much walked away from it.
It's kind of makes you wonder because, of course, being across from Burbank, you know, they always have the trucks for food for the cafeteria.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess I haven't paid attention to delivery lately. That's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
We'll see if markets happen. You can text us. Is that okay? You can text us as a group chat. See if there's anything.
Some-
We still on the air.
Yes, Governor. I think you really got one fan out there. So if it turns out that, someone asked things, you know, my kids and their kids are in the same class, like between girls. I understand.
And I'll get hold of Debbie Thomas, because she's the head of the Christian Education President. So I'll get hold of her and see if they still do Daywood truck. It seems like in my memory, I always saw a Daywood truck there all weekend, kind of behind the scene.
And if that doesn't work, it's just.
Yeah. Well, and then I even said something like, I wonder if there would be a close business that would even have a space and a cooler that people could use, you know, but if they couldn't afford a truck, you know, but it would be nice if a donation could happen for.
Yeah,
these
she
people.
can't function out of
It's-
doors.
Yeah,
I'm a reenactor who can function out of the
right, of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no way your food would go pretty quick.
Yeah.
And we don't want anybody on spoiled food getting sick.
Any feedback from Mark? Well, Terry's talking right now.
Sure,
He
yeah.
was on the radio just a little bit ago.
He's gonna be the Board of Works meeting around this time too, right? So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully they'll hear that.
Okay, maybe we'll
But yeah.
get something connected and see what's gonna.
Yeah, and yeah, if you would like put it in our email or something, so then I can pass that information on to the pastor.
So we had a motion from John to adjourn the meeting,
Okay.
and I think you, and we all voted yes. All voted yes. The meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for showing up.
And John, we have some checks for you to look at and bills beside them. It's up at the very front desk.
I have to remember that, it's in bubbles.
Thought about asking him if you wanted to wear the bunny suit again. I mean, he had so much fun last time. And farm. Almost.
Yeah.
Oh, and
The passport things,
yeah.
remember mine needed changed from Vincent to Bruce.
Oh, great. I got it.
So we have them now.
Yeah, let's stop at the. and get some.
I mean, it's open now in July, but it's. Yes, actually, they are looking pretty good. We probably did lose a few because of all those cold snaps. But right now, they're right the size of my thumb. So they're getting there. We come,
Colin and I were talking about that the other day. Oh my, he just made it.
yeah. And then the apples are getting there. They're probably about this size now, but
Isn't that exciting?
yeah.
It's like fruit.
Yes.
Oh, we're working on it. I'm gonna call Debbie Dunn, president. I'll send you her contact.
Yeah.
We're moving well. Yeah.
Oh, several people, like you mentioned, that need that same
Yeah.
accommodation.
And like they do pay me a little bit for using my facilities and the cooler because we have to turn out. But I mean, very much, if they would have to ship it on for another week, then that would cost.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah, cooler costs a lot of money. It's for, that's for the. Yeah,
So we want, you're there volunteer to portray your reenacting. But then we have the vendors who do artisan, but then the food, a lot of them, people just have the food.
yeah,
Yeah, not-
Right. Scott said to me, oh, I'm sure you always are full on Armageddon. And I said, you know, I'm actually not. People seem to like come down today and go back home. And I've had a few that only a few over the years. No, no. They come down for the day and then they go back.
You know, I think it's happening more and more. I don't, because I went, what? And a lot of the, reactors still stay in tents. But it's gotten to the point where some of the ones that we've got will actually go to a hotel. Or they do, like on Second Street, they have several Airbnbs. So a lot of reenactors are finding stuff too, because they're too old and decrepit and can't get out of the tent. If I was staying in my tent, I'm still, too, but all the reenactment events we do now are private are just here at the museum and right there. So we just don't, we still travel to other places, but with MDOT, we just don't do it like this. I'm in the next step.